Well, Mrs. Feinstein, I'm Dr. Sushi, your husband's physician. Oh, doctor, can you tell me what's happening with my husband? Well, your husband is awake and conscious, but due to a brain stem lesion, he is not capable of producing speech, limb, or facial movement. He can hear, he can think, he's aware of every sound and every object. He's capable of seeing, capable of understanding, but he's not capable of communicating. I'm sorry, there is no treatment. Oh, doctor, what is my family going to do? Well, Mrs. Sushi, I'm just going to have to take it day by day. Wait, where am I? What form am I? I'm standing here, but I'm also lying in a hospital bed with my wife crying. You're a wisp, a whim, a puff of smoke, an astral projection, if you will. Oh, of course, you'd be here, depression. What is this place, some kind of spirit world? Yes. You're trapped in a diving bell with me, and I'm here to remind you that you'll never find peace. Remind me, like you do every day, that despite all that I've achieved as a family man, a lawyer, and a businessman, my head is filled with nothing but thoughts of depression and hopelessness. Whatever I do, I can't get out of my head the feeling that I've made mistakes, that it's too late to fix. Regret the past and think about things you should have done or you could have done better. Or better yet, anticipate the future and worry about things that haven't even happened yet. I am a no-good son of a bitch! Oh, that's okay, depression. I found a way to deal with you. I avoided those thoughts. I watched television shows, one inane show after another. And then I went jogging. Okay, at my age, walking fast. And I would listen to podcasts, anything, so that I wouldn't have the thoughts of what I could have done better or how I was going to pay for the future. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get out of my head that somehow I had not been true to my heart's desire and been an artist like my father. No, I chose to pursue money, my mother's dream. And we all know chasing somebody else's dream always ends in tragedy. That's my forte. People that aren't true to themselves. That's where I thrived. Well, as I approached my 77th birthday, it was all catching up with me. I was faced with the reality of whether or not Judy and I would outlive the money that we had, and the coming of the pandemic didn't help. And I awoke each morning with fear into my heart that turned into unbridled anxiety. But my lovely, beautiful wife came to me and said, "Oh, Mitchell, what do you want for your birthday?" "Judy, I don't want anything. I long ago disconnected my wants and feelings from my desires. I desired nothing. And if anybody came to me with an idea of doing something, going somewhere, that I would get something, my first reaction was to say no, get in bed, and cover my head. That's another great attribution of depression. Dead feelings. Depression, am the one that caused that anxiety and fear in you." Well, depression, then I came up with a great idea. In order to mark my 77th birthday, I would go skydiving. So Judy and I drove out to the little airport in the desert, and I entered the small airplane. We ascended to the requisite height. I strapped on my chute, hooked onto my pro, and we leapt down the plane. We banked, we soared, I felt so free and euphoric. And then the pro said, "Hang on, I'm going to pull the ripcord." There was a bang, and the chute opened, and we slowed our descent to the desert floor. And at the very last moment, as you were about to make contact with the terrestrial ground again, I sent an ill wind that blew your chute up in the air, slammed you on your back, and broke your neck at L1. Thanks a lot, depression. Now my mental prison is also a physical one. I'm trapped in a diving bell with you, depression. Oh well. At least it'll give me some time to think about and discover why I feel so inadequate. Inadequate? I'm trapped in a diving bell. The exact opposite of adequate. Anyway, I spent weeks rethinking and reliving my history of my life, my childhood, my education, my business career, my family life. My family life. Maybe if I could learn and understand how my family molded me, I might find a path out of this mental maze. Was it my mother who miscast this defective piece of bronze? Or was it the failure of my father to create the proper mold? That's right, it's my father the source of my failure? Hold on a minute, Mitch. Failure? That's a little tough, isn't it, huh? Anyway, I'm here to cure you. I'm going to be the pain in the neck, excuse the pun, that's going to straighten you out. Hang in there. Dad, is that really you? How can you cure me? I have a broken neck. Oh, I'm here to heal you spiritually. Yeah, I'm going to give you what you didn't get as a child. I'm going to help you find peace. But Dad, how are you going to do that? I'm going to take you on a journey. In your head, of course, because we all know you can't move. What were you thinking? A good Jewish boy jumping out of a perfectly good plane. Anyway, you spent your entire life trying to prove to your mother you're not like me. Oh, what's so bad about me? I'm a son of a gun that has fun, tickle your ribs, make you laugh. Lights like gas. Get out of here, Jay. Fun breaks the rules. And the rules are regret the past, fear the future. There is no fun. Depression, take a hike. Hey, Mitch, who's your daddy? I'm going to be your guide, not depression. Let me show you about my life. Let's start at the beginning. My mother was 20 when she got married, and she had 8 children, one every other year. And she was such a little woman. Oh yeah, Dad, I remember Grandma. When I saw her when I was 10, she wasn't even as tall as I was. Mitch, look through my eyes. See what I see. Feel what I feel. Maybe my eyes will provide some respite from the tangled thoughts that jangle your brain. Dad, what's that over there? Who's that young woman? Is that Grandma's a young woman? Is that Grandpa standing next to her? And is she holding something? Is that you as a baby? Shayna boobala, Shayna boobala. Look, Max, we've done it again. Another boy. Let's call him Jacob after your father. Boy, Sadie, Sophie, it's a miracle. You have brought another life into the house with God's help. He'll be our youngest. We'll call him Babe. Oh, Max, this is the last one. We have 7 other kids and I can't do no more. And you work all day as a slave, as a tailor, and all you get paid is pennies. Oh, Boobala, don't worry. God will provide. All you need is a laugh in your throat and a smile on your lips, and everything will be okay. Yeah, you see, Mitch, I learned from the beginning that all you need is a laugh in your throat and a smile on your lips, and everything will be okay. Dad, was that real? Or was that some further manifestation of my insanity due to my isolation? Dad, you never told me about your childhood. Tell me some more. All right, Mitch, let's take a look at this memory with me and my mother when I was 6. You know, I was the youngest in the family, so everybody called me Babe. Babe, what you doing sitting there? Thinking, Mama? What are you thinking about? Thinking? Oi, that's not what a boy of 6 should think about. You should be thinking about your toys or learning the Hebrew alphabet so you can learn your prayers with the Rebbe. I don't like the Rebbe. He smells like sour beets and his fingernails are dirty. Oh, you shouldn't say such a thing about a man of God. And we need God in our life. Mama, why do we need God? Ah, it's a shame that you should say such a thing. Now you go and help your brother Ben. You are God's angel to be his eyes because he's blind. Okay, Mama. Benny, Mama sent me to see if you need anything. Oh, babe, yeah. Lead me to the piano so I can stroke the keys and make beautiful music. But Benny, aren't you mad at God because he made you blind? Oh, babe, God didn't make me blind. Just some kid at the beach threw an oyster shell and cut my eye. But I remember that day at the beach. Papa was with us. We had such a good time. Oh, Papa worked so hard. That room he works in, it smells from oil and sweat and machines. But Papa says he doesn't mind as long as he can take care of us. And he always has a smile. Oh, yeah, Benny. Papa comes home every night. He has a glass of schnapps. And then he gives us each a hug and a kiss. He tells us he loves us. And then he tells funny stories. Wait, Dad. Are you telling me that your family had virtually no money and your brother was blind and you still found happiness? Yeah, Mitch. Can't you see that whatever we had was enough? And, you know, I can still remember the sounds of Ben's pianos as they tinkled, keys as he tinkled the pianos, and my ribs still hurt from laughing at my father's jokes. Ah, get out of here, Jay. You're short-sighted. You don't see problems that are lurking around the corner. You don't look for trouble and it jumps up and grabs you. Oh, take a hike, depression. Mitch, if you keep worrying about things that haven't even happened yet, you can't be present and happy. Wait. Let me show you another memory. But this was from something when my family faced adversity. It was 1928. I was 22 years old. My father died. And I was with my mother in the house. Mom, what are we going to do? Dad's gone and I can't support us, and all of my brothers and sisters have moved out because they're married or they have jobs. Oh, hey, boy chick, don't worry, God will provide. Besides which, you got a job at the Young Men's Hebrew Association. You're in charge, aren't you? Mom, I'm in charge of the towels in the front desk. I don't make enough money to pay the rent and get food. What are we going to do? Oh, hey, boy chick, don't worry. Your sister Sarah and her husband Al, they got room in the apartment for us. And then the other kids are all going to help and take care of us. Oh, Mom, I wish I made more money. But sitting at that front desk gives me time to read the books Ben tells me about, and I've been writing plays. And the people at the center say I can produce the plays and put them on and put on a play shop. Oh, hey, boy chick, that's wonderful. You're so smart from all the books you read with your brother Ben. Yeah, Mom, but I could make more money if I ran a store like my brother Phil. No, boy chick. What you're doing is important. You gotta write, it's very important. I'll be fine with your sister Sarah, and I'll get to take care of the 2 grandkids every day. See, Mitch, I was blessed with a family that gave me room to have my creative desires. Yeah, I was going to write stories about the common man, stories that made a difference, plays that made a difference. That's your history too. Yeah, Dad. I remember finding your plays in my bookcase. When I read those, that was the first thing that made me get the desire to become a writer. And then you took us to the theater all the time, and you helped put on plays when I was a kid. Oh yeah, Mitch, remember I directed you in those plays with the Cub Scouts and at the temple. But Mitch, you were in college, you were majoring in English, and you were taking creative writing. What happened? Oh yeah, Dad. I was on track to become a writer and a college professor. But then I met Judy and fell in love, and then I felt like everybody needed me to make money. And Mom always belittled you because you weren't a success, you had no money, and I didn't want that to happen to me. Dad, is it too late? Is it too late for me to find some happiness? It's too late. My claws are sunk too deep into your frontal lobe to induce the necessary pain. Yeah. You can't get rid of me. Oh, depression. Get lost. Mitch, let me show you another memory of me with my friend Herman when he came over to meet my family. Hi, everybody. This is my friend Herman, who helps me out at the Y. Oh, hi, everybody. This is my Uncle Al. This is my brother-in-law Al, my sister Sarah, my niece Betty, my brother Phil, my brother Ben, and my mother. Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Al. Come on in, Herb. Take your shoes off, put your feet up, and I hope your feet don't smell. Oh, Al, be quiet. Come on in. Betty, go in the kitchen and get the boys some strudel. They can be hungry. Ay, Kinder, setz rein. Babe, go and get some schnapps from you or your friend. Okay, Mom. Herm, I hear Mitch is quite a Jay's quite a storyteller. Can you tell me, is he working on a new play? Does it have anything to do with me? Okay, Ben, I'm back. We're not going to talk about that. Well, why not, Jay? You're a genius writer, and you've been working on this play for months, and there is a scene in here in a play like this with the family all sitting in the living room talking. Oh yeah, I'm going to be famous. No, Al. It's based on something like that, but you wouldn't recognize yourself. Oh, and what? I shouldn't be recognized? Come on, Sarah. All right. That's the scene about a family facing adversity, like we did when Pop died, and we all just sat in the living room and we talked and talked until we figured out how to make things better. Yeah, and you know why we did that? Because we watched your papa come home every night, take a glass of schnapps, give us all a hug and a kiss, and then tell funny stories. Oh, come on, Al. You're embarrassing me. Come on, Herman. We gotta go. I don't want to leave yet. I'm just having too much fun here with your family. Come on, Herman. We gotta go. We gotta work on the play. Dad, I remember the Feinstein's Cousins Club. We would go over to Aunt Sarah and Uncle Al's house. And yeah, everybody would sit in the living room and put their feet up and sip a little whiskey. And people would bring food and then we'd take trips. We'd go on bus rides and we'd all sing songs together. Oh yeah, Mitch. You remember the family song? Yeah, Dad. We ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we travel the road, sharing our load, side by side. Uh-oh, Dad. Here comes that nurse. Oh, she's going to roll me over to make sure I don't get bed sores and give me an injection so I don't get an infection. Oh, Dad, I don't want to think about unpleasant things. I want to think about pleasant things, things that were nice, big nice. All right, let's think about pleasant things. Let's think about love. Let me tell you and show you the memory of how I met your mother. Herm and I were leaving Y, and we were on the trolley. Okay, Herm, a couple more stops and we'll be at Linda Merle's house. Is Marcia coming tonight, huh? Oh, yeah, Marcia's coming, and she's a peach, and I think she likes me. And she's bringing her friend Sadie. I think you guys would hit it off. Oh yeah, Herm, can you tell me about Sadie? Well, she's really sophisticated. She graduated college. She's a teacher. Oh, Herm, that's too sophisticated for me. I mean, I never graduated high school. Oh, get out of here, Jay. You're one of the best read people I know. You read 3 newspapers a day, including the Daily Worker. Oh, come on, Herm. We gotta get out of here. It's our stop. Hello, Linda Merle. Herm and I are here. And look what we got. Bottle of gin. We beat Prohibition again. Government's attempt to try and control us. Hello, Herm. Hello, babe. Oh, listen, there's some sandwiches here, and Jay, I want you to meet my friend Sadie. Hi, Sadie. Oh, hi. Hi, Jay. I don't usually come to places like this. What do you mean, places like this? Places where people sit around and talk and discuss things? I usually sit with my parents and just read. They're very quiet. It's all right, Sadie. Nobody here will bite your head off. I'll show you around and you know, just so everything will be okay. Oh, Jay, that's so nice. Well, wait a second, Dad. You know, you didn't have any money. What did you and Mom do? How did you court her? How did you date her? Oh, Mitch, we didn't need any money. We had plenty of stuff to do. Hey, it's 1932, and my best play is going to be premiered. Sadie's coming to see it, and I'm a nervous wreck. Oh, Herm, the play opens tonight. I'm so nervous. I don't think I can breathe. Oh, Jay, what are you working at? You're a genius writer. You've been working on a play for 6 months. It's opening in a playhouse you opened. What are you worrying about? Oh, Herm. Maybe it's because Sadie's coming tonight and she's bringing her two of her friends and her teachers. And Herm, what made me think I could write a play as if I were looking through my blind brother's eyes? Was that in a head? Oh, Jay, everybody likes you. Everything will be fine. My Marsha will be there, and she'll make sure everything's okay. Well, Mitch, the play opened, and Sadie loved it, and everybody loved it, and it was like a big success. And you know what? It was called His Eyes, and it was the story of my brother Ben, and how he overcame his blindness, and learned Braille, became well-read, and a concert pianist, and then taught me so much that I wanted to become a riot writer. Maybe there's a lesson there for you. Hold on a second, Jay. Didn't Sadie show you some lessons about being nervous and worried about money? Okay, depression. But that's all right. I took Sadie past her comfort zone, and she liked it. Mitch, take a look at this scene of Sadie and I when we went to the beach. We had fun today, Sadie, didn't we? Yeah, and it didn't cost a penny. Yeah, we just grabbed some food from the house, called Morris and called Herman and Marshall on the phone and our pals, and we met them at the beach, right? Didn't we have a good time? Oh yeah, Jay, it was a lot of fun. Your friends are so exciting, but I'm still a little nervous. You know, my dad lost all of his money in a bad business deal with his brother, and my parents, they talk to me about money all the time, and they tell me that, you know, I have to find money in order to find a life, you know, and have nice things. Oh, Sadie, come on. I care about you so much, and we get along so well. And I'll keep writing plays, and maybe one of them will get produced, but it doesn't matter. We'll be okay. Oh, Jay, I'm so nervous, but you are the sweetest, kindest man I ever met. That's right. We'll be okay as long as we remember to live each day of life as if it were a gift. Yeah, you see, Mitch? That's a secret. You have to live each day of life as if it were a gift. Gift of joy and happiness. You have to just let yourself be free. Dad, free? I'm trapped in a diving bell. Oh, yeah. That's exactly right. Wherever you can't move. So wherever you go, there you are. All right. Now, you can't move, and you can't move your arms and your legs, but you can still find freedom here in your head. The only place that matters. Come on, Jay. You think you're going to change things by just thinking different? And oh, by the way, are you going to tell Mitch what happened to you? That you had to give up being a playwright and take a job? Well, yeah, depression. It was the depression. We had to get a job to live, but there was a silver lining. We got to buy a brand new house and move in. Oh, Dad, I remember that house on Roland View Avenue. Geez, maybe you're doing pretty good. Oh, okay, Sadie. Take a look at the new house. What do you think? Oh, Jay, it's wonderful. It's more than I ever thought we'd have. Okay, the movers are here. Here, you take Linda, put her in the stroller, and go up on that porch. We're going to get a glider for that porch, and we can look out and see everything because we're at the top of the hill. It's Roland View Avenue. Oh, Jay, look, the movers, they have some cases. What are in those cases, those boxes? Oh, Sadie, they're the books we've collected in our youth. I have crated them up, and we're putting them in the basement. We'll put them away later. Dad, I remember that row house. It had a long galley kitchen. And in the front there was a living room and a dining room, and upstairs 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. Downstairs there was a basement. It was a magical place. It was dark and dusty, and when I was about 8 years old, I used to get up in the morning and go down there and play. I'd swing from the rafters, and then I'd hide behind the boxes and play war. And then in the front there was a wash basin, and then there was a tool bench that you had built out of leftover lumber, and in the front there was an oil tank that replaced the coal bin. And one day I took a claw hammer, I went over and I opened the case, and it was full of books. If only books could talk. Hello, it's me, William Shakespeare. Lift the veil of dust and fog and behold the sun. All right, easy does it, Will. It's not the sun. It's a 40-watt light bulb with an L beam on a 2x4 far bracket. Just ask me, Popular Mechanics. I know everything there is to know about building. Oh, Popular, perhaps you can tell me why I'm here. Sadie's beautiful cursive handwriting, 40 pages of notes on ductless glands. All right. Sadie wrote you in 1928 when she was a student at Towson State. She had dreams of being a doctor, but she could only afford to go to school for 2 years, so she became a teacher. No hopes for medical school. Oh, well, Popular, why are your dusty little magazines in the same box with me, with my vellum-covered tomes with hand-cut wood drawings? Well, Sadie and Jay moved into this house while World War II was raging. But Jay wasn't eligible for the draft. He had a punctured left eardrum. He always felt less than. His friends went off to war. Some didn't come back, and some who came back were honored. Oh, so Jay would leaf through my volumes looking for something that he could do to help with the war effort, besides sell shoes and collect shoe rations. Uh-oh. Yes, remember what I, William Shakespeare, said. The better part of valor is discretion, for which part I have saved my life. Oh, somebody's coming down the stairs. It's Sadie and Jay. Jay, what are we doing with all these old, dusty boxes? We should throw them out. Oh no, Sadie. Those are the books from our childhood, our icons of our youth. Don't you remember how much fun we had collecting them? Oh yes, Jay, I remember. Oh, your artist friends were always punning and quoting Shakespeare, and we'd save a few pennies from our meager salaries and go hunt for books to read. That's right, Sadie. Do you remember when we took the trolley to that little place outside of town, and in that little store we found this little treasure trove of vellum-bound volumes with hand-cut wood block print illustrations? We felt like miners who discovered gold. Yes, Jay, but then something happened. I changed. I don't know if it was getting pregnant or just getting tired of not having the best, or maybe just felt I made a mistake, but somehow it seems like I sealed up all of our happiness with these boxes. Oh, no, Sadie. We had fun. We bought a new house. We went to the people in the neighborhood. We were our friends. The war ended. Everybody was happy. Oh yes, the war ended, and everybody got a new car, and we didn't. Oh, we eventually did. Yeah, but it was a small one with a plane with no radio. Yeah, but Sadie, we had fun. We had fun with our friends. We had fun with playing cards. We went out to dinner. Oh, Jay, but what happened to our dreams? My dream of being a doctor and your dream of becoming a playwright. Sadie, life happened. But let's not look at what didn't happen. Let's look at the successes we had afterwards. Dad, Dad, books really do talk. But what happened after that? Oh, Mitch, your mother and I lived in that house and filled it with love and knowledge. And that's, that's a gift, that's a lesson. You can have that lesson too. All right, Jay, but are you going to tell Mitch that at this time Sadie was teaching you a lesson, that she was so dissatisfied with you because all you were was a shoe salesman? All right, depression. But I liked where I worked, and I liked the people I worked with. Even when you had that near-death experience? Yeah, even that had a silver lining. Oh, hello, mister. Come on in. My name is Jay. What kind of shoes can I show you? I don't want no shoes. I want all the money in the cash register. And if you don't get it fast enough, I'm going to shoot you with this here gun. Mister, I'm not the owner. I don't have the key to the register. Well, you better get him out here. Felser, come on out here. There's a problem. Yeah, what is it? All right, mister, you better get that money out of the cash register. If you don't move fast enough, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going, not fast enough. Felser, watch out! Ah, I'm shot! Uh-oh, looks like it nicked the femoral artery. He could bleed out. Jay, can you hear me? Oh, Sadie. No, Dad. I remember that. I think I was 6 years old. You were home for weeks. And Mom was crying all the time. Jay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Oh, Sadie, I'm healing. But Jay, we're running out of money. We're borrowing money from friends. And that miser old man Felser won't pay your salary while you're off, even though you saved his life. Sadie, I promise you, and I promise myself, that someday I'll own my own store so nobody can treat me that way ever again. See, Mitch, I may not have been a writer anymore, but I still had hope. I still had a dream. Yeah, but Mitchell has no hope. He's been living somebody else's dream. Get out of here, depression. Wherever there's breath, there's hope. Mitch, do you remember when you were 7 years old, when you were in Baltimore, the weather was not too hot, not too cold, not too humid, just a perfect autumn afternoon. In that time of renewal, it was Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year's. Okay, come on, Mitch. You got to get dressed. We have to go to temple. It's Rosh Hashanah. Okay, Dad. I'm putting on my brown pants, my yellow shirt, and my plaid jacket that Mom bought for me. Oh, Dad, I wish you had taken me to go shopping. I wanted you to help me pick out my clothes. Oh, Mitch, I wish I could, but I had to work. But here, let me put your bow tie on for you. Okay. Look up at me. All right, okay. All right. Okay, that's great. Oh, you look so grown up. So, Mitch, why do we celebrate Rosh Hashanah? Because we're Jewish? No, what's the holiday about? It's the Jewish New Year, and we ask God for forgiveness. All right, that's right. Take my hand, and we're going to walk to temple. Oh, Dad. I remember walking up Rolling View Avenue, past all the row houses, and then up Quantico, the row houses changed into small cottages. And then near the top of the hill, there was one large cottage on the right that had been converted to the Quantico Avenue Shul, the local Jewish temple. All right, come on, Mitch, we've got to get our seats. Okay, Dad. We walked inside. The temple was simple and austere, yet awe-inspiring. There were large chandeliers in the center. The floor was covered with wooden pews, and in the center there was an intricately carved stage or bima where the cantor led the congregation in the traditional chants and prayers. Around the top was a balcony where the women sat. Only men were allowed on the ground floor to pray. Come on, Mitch, we're going to sit down. We're sitting next to Uncle Herman and Ronnie. You guys can play together. Now, you and Herman had only reserved one seat each, so Ronnie and I had to sit on your knees. So we sat there and we fooled around with each other, and then when we got bored, we got between your feet and the pew in front of us, and we played under there, and we grabbed the books, and then we stood up and we swayed and sang with the congregation. Now, when the men came in, they'd all had their heads covered, and they were carrying small velvet pouches that contained a wool or silken prayer shawl, a talit. The talit had at its corners 613 fringes, representing the 613 commandments in the 5 books of Moses or the Bible. Oh, Dad, can I play with the fringes? They're so soft. Yeah, Mitch, but don't untangle them, don't unwind them. Dad, what are those blue things on the back of your hand? They're my veins, Mitch, where my blood flows. Oh, Dad, I remember sitting in the temple, stroking the back of your hand, feeling the soft pulse of your blood in your blue veins below your thin, transparent skin. I stroked and stroked, and somehow I felt assured. Yeah, you see, Mitch, if you try real hard, you can remember things that make you feel good about me. Yeah, Dad, I have those feelings, but I also have a sense of shame of not focusing more on making more money to be the golden boy that Mom wanted me to be. I don't know, is it too late? Can I find peace? Oh yeah, it's too late. It's too late for you to find peace. I've sunk my claws in your cerebellum. I'm here to inflict the expected pain. Oh, Mitch. Depression, you can be banned. Just Mitch, just think about the good things in my life and yours. The good things in my life, Dad? I'm lying over there in a hospital for the completely disabled. I can't move. All I do is sit there and I hurries, breathe. Hurries, breathe. Oh, wait, breathe. Sing a song. Oh, Dad, do you remember the song that you taught to the Cub Scouts when we did that show from... But Dad, I want to remember other things. I want to remember you. And I remember you. You weren't a very big man. You were just 5'4", and you were handsome in a very kind way. And you had a 1940s mustache, and you were. Then I remember coming downstairs in the kitchen. Kids, hurry up! It's breakfast. Oh, Dad, I remember stumbling down the stairs and seeing you ensconced in the kitchen. You were standing there with a white shirt and tie and your sleeves rolled up, your jacket on the back of the chair, and you were finishing up making the sandwiches for Linda and I to take to school. Come on, kids, come on, hurry on down, sit down, you got school. All right, what's on the schedule for today? Oh, Dad, you ask us the same question every day, and we tell you the same answer every day. We're going to go to school and come home, except if it's Monday and Wednesday, we'll go to religious school. All right, Linda, that's fine. But Dad, what do you do today? Oh, okay, Linda, well, after I finish making you guys breakfast, and I'm going to walk up to the bus, take the bus to the shoe store, open the store, make sure the stock's all set up, and then I'm going to open the doors at 10 o'clock, and if customers come in, I help them try on shoes. Dad, you led such a simple life. I wonder, is there any message or meaning for me? Or would I have been any different if you had been stronger, or you'd been more successful? Or is that just some excuse for me not accepting who and what I am and the depression that I had? Yeah, your depression is so long-lived that it has spawned in the DNA of your brain. I control the chemicals that are being released. You can't get rid of me. I'm your owner. Oh, come on, depression. Take a hike. Mitch, You can get rid of depression if you just think about the good things in your life and in my life. Okay, Dad, but first I have to get those thoughts of depression out of my brain. Oh, but wait, Dad, what's the good things in my life? I'm confined to a hospital bed. All I do is sit there, race, breathe, sing a song. Oh yeah, Dad, I remember now. The song you taught the Cub Scouts when I was just, 8 years old? All right, kids, gather around. We're going to do a special for your mother, a song for your mother on Mother's Day, and it's called M-O-T-H-E-R. And all you have to do is word one line, and then turn over these cards I made that have the letter on them that I made with glue and gold flecks. All right, here we go. Let's try it. Paul, you go first. M is for the many things she gave me. O means only that she's growing old. T is for her tears she shed to save me. H is for her heart as pure as gold. E is for her eyes are ever shining. R is right, and right she'll always be. Put them all together, and they spell mother, the word that means a world to me. Oh, Dad, a warm tear forms in my eye and runs down my cheek as I see you, half bent over and stooped from too many years, putting shoes on other people's feet, bounding around the room, coaching and controlling, and getting each one of those boys to say their line on time and to turn their cue card. Oh. Yes. Oh, but Dad, what does depression have to say? Yeah, you're stuck in that time zone where you can't think of what you're doing. But you remember, don't you? Oh yeah, depression. You take a hike. Dad, looking back on that, I can see you were showing me an example of how to live. Yeah, Mitch, and there's some more. I showed you how to live. Yeah, let me show you a memory of when I showed you how to be a man. Mitch, do you remember in 1959 in Baltimore where you were either a Colts fan or you didn't exist? Yeah, that devotion of that blue-collar town to that blue-collar team was monumental. The Colts were going to play the Giants for the National Football League Championship at Memorial Stadium. It was December. And yeah, Dad, I remember. I was in the living room listening to the radio.
The game between the Giants and the Colts for the NFL Championship takes place tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Memorial Stadium. The stadium is sold out, but here's a flash. The Colts just announced that 200 tickets in the end zone will go on sale at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah, hello, Paul. Yeah, listen, did you just hear the news? Yeah, the Colts are going to put tickets on sale for tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at the stadium for the championship game. You want to go down there and sleep there tonight and stand in line and get tickets? No, we're old enough. We're 15. It's not hard to get to. It's the same buses we take to get to school. Oh yeah, it'll be cold, but we can do it. Okay, you talk to your mom and I'll call my dad. Orleans 56222. Hi Dad, sorry to bother you with work, but listen, they just announced that the Colts are going to put tickets on sale at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning for the championship game. Paul and I want to go down there and sleep over tonight and stand in line and get tickets. Can we do it? Can we do it? All right, Mitch, but listen to me. You wait till I get home and I'll drive you and Paul down to the stadium. Oh, hey, Manny, did you hear that? My kid's going to go down to the stadium, sleep in line, and get tickets for the Colts game. He's got moxie, doesn't he? Geez, I wish I could do something to show him how much I care. Jay, I'll cover for you. Why don't you go down to Harry's store and get him some gloves or scarves? It's going to be cold tonight. Oh, wait. I got a better idea. We got those really nice insulated boots up in the front, and we got a pair that's just in Mitch's size. So I grabbed the pair of boots off the shelf, tucked them over my arm, left a note for Mr. Felser to deduct it from my paycheck, and went on home. Hi, here you go, Mitch. Oh, Dad, what's this? Oh, wow. These will really keep my feet warm. Thanks a lot, Dad. All right, you and Paul hop in a car. I'll drive you down to the stadium. I remember as we slowly moved through the city, which was still covered with the remnants of the last snowstorm. The formerly white, pristine moguls had now turned brown and gray from the exhaust and the whirring of the snow tires. We ended up at the Memorial Stadium. All right, guys, hop out, but stick together and take care of each other, and I'll come pick you up in the morning. I watched, Dad, as you drove off home to Mom. Jay, where have you been? Oh, I took Paul and Mitch down to the stadium. They're going to sleep over tonight and get tickets to the ball game. Oh, Jay, they're not old enough. You go back there and pick them up right now. That's not okay. You can't do that. You can't do that. Sadie, they're 15. He's old enough. He's becoming a man. Leave him alone. You see, Mitch, I may not have had a big job or big money, but I did things to take care of you. I drove you down to the stadium. I stood up to your mom for you. I got you those really warm boots, and I gave you the opportunity to have the joy of experiencing the Colts winning the championship. Oh yeah, Dad, that sports story is all nice and good, but I can't somehow grab onto the joy and revel in it. I just have this lingering fear that everything is about to go bad. Yeah, me, depression. I'm the source of that fear. Yes, disaster is just around the corner. Wait a second, Mitch. Mitch, don't fall back on all those old junky ideas. Why don't you turn over a new leaf? Uh-oh, that's right, you can't turn. Oh, anyway, it was an idea. All right, come on, Dad. Life is not just a bed of green grass and clover. But maybe if I look back, I can find out, where did my fear begin? Dad, what's in the box? Oh, Mitch, it's a brand new power mower. Well, yeah, with a gas engine like the Taman's got? No, it's special. It's from the department store. It's electric. It's got a blade on the bottom that spins around and cuts the grass. Now, yeah, it was special. Even at 11, I knew that this was not a great idea. I mean, what if you ran over the cord or you hit a wet spot? You could get electrocuted. But I knew the reason it was special. It was because it cost less. It was the one we could afford. In our neighborhood, we always had less than everybody else. Paul Feldman's dad owned a bar and they had a big pink Buick. David Taman's dad owned a clothing store and they had a Pontiac. And we had, oh yeah, we know, a plain Jane Plymouth with no radio. Come on, get on with the part of the story I really like. Dad, be careful. Look, Mitch, no hands, it goes uphill. Crap. It stopped. All right, it's jammed. Well, I'll just turn it off and take it over here to the side. Dad, I remember watching you carrying the mower to the side of the grass on the sidewalk and turning it over. The still splitting blade hit your finger and blood erupted everywhere. Oh, Christ, Sadie, come out here. I cut myself. Oh, Jay, I told you it was a stupid thing and not to buy it. Oh, my God. Don't come in the house. You'll get blood everywhere. I'll go get a towel. I watched Dad as you walked up on the porch and Mom came out, wrapped the towel around your finger, and stanched the flow of blood. Mitch, go in the house and get the hand mower and finish the lawn so the neighbors won't see a half-finished job like your father always said. Sadie, don't say that, especially in front of Mitchell. And I finish work every week on my knees to feed this family. Oh, Jay, maybe I should never have married you. Well, maybe I should leave. Now, screaming matches between my parents was not news. There was the regularly scheduled Monday night fight at the kitchen table, conducted in Yiddish, so the kinder wouldn't understand. But we knew what it was about. It was about money and my dad not being good enough. Now, usually my dad calmed things down, but this time it was different. A line had been crossed. Sadie, it's not stupid and we're going to keep it. It's a good lawnmower. Well, if we can't afford to buy a real one with a gas engine, we're sending it back. Well, if it goes back, I'm leaving. Well, I'm packing it up and calling the store to have it picked up on Monday. Well, then I'm out of here. I watched Dad while you walked at a prodigious pace down the steps and away, and I yelled out, Dad, Dad, where are you going? I don't know. When will you be back? I don't know if I'm coming back. I was scared. Scared I'd never see you again. Scared I'd never feel your soft hand again. Scared I'd never hear you tell another funny story. Scared to the center of my soul. Mom, Mom, where's Dad going? Oh, I don't know. Well, when's he coming back? Oh, I don't know. Mom went upstairs and sprawled herself on the bed playing solitaire. Linda stayed in her room with the door closed, and I sat on the glider looking up the street to see if I could see your slightly bent stride coming back down the hill. It got dark. I sat there. I didn't move. Nobody came down for dinner. Finally, several hours later, I saw your slightly bent stride coming down the hill. You were smoking a cigarette. You walked past me into the house. Mom came down, Linda came down. We had dinner. Nobody said a word. Dad, Dad, why did you stay with Mom when she was so mean to you? Oh, Mitch, I knew she loved me. I remember how excited she got when I brought her a present. You know, like when I brought home the special candies on Friday night. But Dad, Mom always made me feel like I wasn't, if I turned out like you, I'd be a loser. I wouldn't be good enough. Yeah, and that's because you weren't being true to yourself. You were living somebody else's life, and your shadow self knew that you were ashamed because you weren't being the golden boy Mom wanted you to be. Yeah, and you weren't the golden boy, and Mom worshipped you like the golden calf, and you were as false as an idol as there ever was. Dad, that's when I became afraid. Afraid that the only person in the world who loved me unconditionally would leave. Mitch, I came back. I know your mother said mean things to me, but I saw the good in her. And I forgave her. I put my pride aside, and I gave her a compassionate hug. And I had compassion for myself. That's what you have to know in life. You have to have compassion for other people, but you have to have, most importantly, compassion for yourself. And you have to help other people, even if sometimes you get hurt. Oh, Dad, I remember when you asked me to help someone, to have compassion for them, and I did get hurt. Mitch, come here in the living room. Yeah, Dad, what is it? Listen, you remember Mike Noonan, friend of mine? Well, we had a stroke. He can't move his right arm and his right leg. Mike was an artist. He painted that picture in the living room of the daffodils. Yeah, you met him at the bar mitzvah, your bar mitzvah, you remember him? Oh yeah, Dad, Mike's a really nice guy. What does he need? Well, Mike thinks since he can't paint anymore, he's gonna take up photography, and he bought a 35mm camera, but he needs some help with it. I know you know all about 35mm cameras, so you've been studying for a while. Dad, but I'm only 15. What do I know about helping somebody who's had a stroke? Okay, Mitch, here's a lesson. If you have somebody if somebody needs something and you have it, then you have to help them and give it to them. Oh, okay, Dad. A few days later, Mike Noonan rang the doorbell. Oh, hello, Mr. Noonan. Hi, Mitch. Wow, that's a neat camera you got on your shoulder. Yeah, it's an Argus C3. Yeah, it's shaped like a brick. They call it the brick. Listen, I need some help. Can you show me how to load the film? Yeah, Mr. Noonan, come on in. Sit down. Put the camera between your knees. That's right. And we got the film cartridge over here. Now you hit that little lever and open the back up. That's right. You take the cartridge and you put it in, and there's a little piece sticking out. That's called the leader. You pull that across the back of the lens and hook it into the sprocket. Make sure it's real secure. Turn it a couple of times to make sure it's engaged. Now close the back. Okay, Mitch. Thanks a lot. I'll go home and practice. About a week later, you came to me, Dad, and you said, oh yeah, Mike's really excited. He's had a great week. He loaded the film. He's been taking pictures all week long. He's got pictures of fall leaves and trees, but he needs help getting the film out. And I told him you'd go over there and help him out. But Dad, what do I know about that? All right, it's easier for you to walk over there than him to walk over here. Okay, Dad. So it was cool autumn, and I put on my loading coat and buckled up the toggles, walked a mile and a half in the residential streets, ended up at Mike's house, rang the doorbell. Hi, Mr. Noonan. Hi, Mitch. Come on in. Here's the camera. Can you show me how to take the film out? Now, the process of removing the film is the reverse of putting it in. There's a little lever that you push to wind the film back into the light-proof cassette. Once it's all back inside, you open the back of the camera, take out the cassette in order to have the film exposed, developed. I picked up the camera. As soon as I pressed the lever and turned once, I knew disaster had struck. Mike had not secured the leader in the camera correctly. The film never advanced. The film was blank. Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry. The film never advanced. There's no pictures. That's okay, Mitch. Thanks for trying. I walked out from the living room to the front porch in the cold autumn air. I felt so ashamed. Dad, why did you send me on such a mission that was bereft with failure? Yeah, right, Jake. Why did you give the kid an impossible task so he had to carry that shame and guilt around for the rest of the year, for the rest of his life? What kind of hero are you? Oh, cool with depression. Mitch, it's not the success of the mission that counts. It's the trying. And you know what? Mike learned how to use that camera. And he was really always very grateful to you. So now, you have compassion for yourself and rejoice in the joy of knowing that you helped someone. Oh, well, Dad. I remember when you had compassion for me. Remember when I cut school when I was a senior in high school and I got suspended? It was my senior year, and I was a year and a half or almost 2 years younger than all of my classmates. I managed to hook up with a bunch of guys that didn't disparage me too much for my being younger. The school I went to was called Baltimore City College. Now, it was a high school, and it was unusual because it was an all-boys public high school. Dad, you went there, but you never graduated. Another failure syndrome. I don't know why. Anyway, the school was called the Castle on the Hill. All of the students were expected to be gentlemen. There were a few other rules. So we reveled in our freedom. We were allowed on and off campus whenever we want. We'd run down the hill, get hamburgers for lunch, or we'd go hang out at a place we called the Wall and smoke cigarettes, which we lit with one hand with our Zippo lighters. Now, it was October, my birthday was in November, and I would get my driver's license and get rid of the last obstacle between me and my being one of the guys. Yeah. But the biggest drawback of being a all-boys school is that there were no women, right, Mitch? Right depression. And the nearest school with girls was Forest Park, which was a good hour's drive away. So it was one afternoon when we were out by the wall taking a smoke when Norman spoke up. Hey guys, all right, I got a great idea. Why don't we get out of here and go over to Forest Park and hit on the girls? They really want to see us. This place is a bore. Now Norm was dressed like the rest of us. City Letterman jackets, fur collars, with a big gold and black BCC on the back. We had on khaki pants, button-down shirts, bass weegens. We were the epitome of Joe College. And then Mark spoke up. Norm, we can't go. If we get caught, we won't be able to go to college. And if I don't go to college, my father will kill me, literally. Remember, he's a colonel in the army. Mark, don't be worried. Don't be scared. We'll go over and we'll hang out on the grass with the kids at lunch. Nobody will notice us. So with bravado well belying our fears, we hopped into Norm's 1951 Studebaker Champion convertible with the top down, playing the AM radio with songs like Devil or Angel by Bobby V and Save the Last Dance for Me by the Drifters and all their great songs. And we cruised across town. We parked the car and we had arrived at the perfect time. Everybody in the school, now Forest Park was a castle-like structure also, but it was set in a series of hills and small dales. And everybody was outside on the grass for lunch, the last nice autumn day before the cold, wet winter swept in. So we strode onto the campus. We mingled in with the knots and girls having conversations, and they were dressed in the fashion of the day, where skirts were getting shorter, and they were set off by sweaters which left their figures daringly displayed. We were a hit. We were the hijinks guys from the other side of town, striding around in our Letterman jackets, which of course is what did us in. The teacher spotted us and took us to the principal's office. All right, let me see ID. What's your name? Oh, I'm Feinstein. All right, well, Mr. Feinstein, can you tell me what you're doing here in my school? Well, yes, sir. We were conducting a sociology experiment to see if mice would blend in with your mice. Oh, all right, a wise guy. Where are your parents? Well, my dad's at work, but my mom's at home. Now, this was a quick thinking lie. My mother was at work, too. But I gave the principal my sister's phone number, who lived in a separate apartment. Hello, Mrs. Feinstein. I'm the principal at Forest Park, and I have your son here. He was cutting school from city over here. Now, all right, my sister caught on right away and told the principal to send me home. All right, Feinstein, here's the story. 2 uniformed cops are going to come here and escort you home. You have a weekend to think about it. I talked to the dean. You're suspended and you can't get back into the school until you bring a parent with you. Well, 2 uniformed Baltimore City police came in and escorted me in their black and white 1964 patrol car to my house. I was screwed. If my mother found out that I cut school, I wouldn't get my license for months, years, maybe for my whole life. My mother came home. I didn't say anything to her. We sat down for our dinner, the usual Friday night dinner, prayers, wine, challah, and chicken. I said nothing. My father came home. It was 9 o'clock. He worked late on Fridays nights. He looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. He came in. I said nothing. He gave everybody a hug and a kiss, went into the kitchen, poured himself a glass of schnapps, made himself a plate for dinner, sat down. I moseyed in, and I confessed and told him everything. He looked at me and said, "Don't worry, we won't tell Mom. I'll take you back to school." I said, "Dad, how are you going to do that? I carpool with Norman. There's no room in the car for you." "I'll take the bus." "Dad, it's an hour bus ride and 2 different buses, and then when you're done, you'll have to take another hour to get to work." "That's okay, Mitch. I love you. I'll do it for you." Well, I got up Monday morning, and by the time I came downstairs, "Dad, you were gone. You'd already left on the bus." And then a few minutes later, the horn honked, and I hopped into Norman's car, and we sped it a half hour over to school. I walked into school. I had to go to Dean Bernstein, the Dean of Men. He was the gauntlet through which I had to pass to get readmitted. And he was known as a no-nonsense kind of guy. In addition to being the dean, he was also the math teacher and the lacrosse coach. And he was known to stride around his class with a lacrosse stick in his hand, whacking errant students on the side of the head. With the net side, of course. I walked down the hall and I saw you, Dad, through the half-glass window. All right, Mitch, let's get this over with. We walked into the room. Dean Bernstein looked up. There was a befuddled look on his face. Babe? Babe Feinstein, is that you? Well, yeah, Harv, how you been? Babe, I haven't seen you since we got caught cutting school together. Do you remember what we did? We went out and go to honky tonk and listen to some jazz, and it turned out to be a speakeasy and we got arrested. I never saw you again. Did you ever finish school? No, Harv, my parents couldn't afford the fine, so I just went to work at the Y. Oh yeah, I heard you wrote a bunch of plays. Yeah, Harv, but that was a long time ago. Listen, what about my kid? What he did wasn't even half as bad as what we did. All right, suspended and lifted, but I give you 3 days detention because I can't be too easy on for the other guys. Oh God, Dad, you showed such compassion. Yeah. You stood up to Mom for me. You rode on the bus all that time. You did everything you could to take care of me. How could I ever think you were a loser when you were so kind, loving, and giving? Hold on a minute. Let's not give up on that failure syndrome so quickly. Let's take a look at the facts. 1, your father always worked for somebody else. 2, he barely made more than minimum wage. And 3, all he did was put shoes on other people's smelly feet. All right, now hold on a minute, depression. I may have just been a salesman, but I don't feel like I was a failure. Through my hard effort, I raised a family, I bought a house, I bought a car, we took vacations, I put 2 kids through college. I may not have been the richest man in the world, but nobody ever starved. And Mitch, do you remember what happened after you finished college? Well, yeah, Dad. I was engaged to Judy. I flew out to California to finish my first year of law school so I could come home and get married. Oh, that's right. You called. Yeah, hi, Mitch. Yeah, I know you're going to be coming home in a few days to get married. But listen, I was going to ask you, could you carve out some time to come to Baltimore from Washington? I got something I want to show you. Oh, I don't know, Dad. We're going to be really busy getting ready for the wedding and Judy's cousin's house, and it's a long drive and everything. What do you want to show me? All right, it was going to be a surprise. But I want to show you the kids' shoe store that I bought in Park Lane Shopping Center. Oh, wow, Dad. That's great. Yeah, I'll make some time. I'll be there. I had been going a whole year. My father had bought his own store, and he never even said one word to me about it. Hi, Mitch. Come on in. What do you think? Wow, Dad. You did this. You did this in a year. Without me, all by yourself? Yeah, your mom was always trying to butt in, But listen, a buddy of mine who was a wholesaler named Morris Ringer, who owned this place for 20 years and it had a great reputation. He put me in touch with Morris, and I talked to him on the phone, and he seemed to like me. Well, Dad, everybody who meets you likes you. I've always admired that about you. Well, anyway, your mom kept trying to butt in, but I told her, stay out. This time I said, stay away. And Morris and I negotiated a deal and signed the contract. But then I had to pay for it. Now, your mom and I had saved some money, but not enough. But guess what? Old man Felser came through. He introduced me to a CPA who showed me about an SBA loan, where we applied and we got the loan. Oh, God, Dad, that's great. All right, wait a second, here comes a customer. Yeah, hello, can I help you? Is Mr. Ringer here, Morris? I'm sorry, he's retired. I'm Jay, but I can help you. What's your name? Oh, I'm Mrs. Cohen, and this is my son, Herman. All right, Herman, come on in and have a seat. Can Herman have a lollipop? Dad, I watched with amazement and awe as you lovingly and professionally took care of that kid and his mother. Your benevolence filled the room. Oh, Mitch, I'm glad you don't see me as a failure anymore. This journey is nearly over. We've traveled a long way. Considering you can't walk, it's pretty amazing. But we're near our end. What do you have to say? Oh, Dad, I feel good and I feel bad. I feel good that I found peace. And I feel bad that I'm still stuck in this damn bell. I want to show Judy and the rest of the world a new me, not weighted down with despair. I've traveled so long, but not far enough to get rid of this damn diving bell. Yeah, me, depression. I'm still stuck in your head. What are you going to do? I tell you what I'm going to do, depression. I'm going to perform an exorcism. I'm going to grab you and throw you out of this room. All right, Mitch, remember, you're okay. Thoughts are just thoughts. They're not real. And remember the lessons I taught you. All right, come on, depression. Out of here. I'm dragging you out of here. Oh, my clothes are screaming. I'm melting. Dad, where are you? All right, I accept your lessons. I'll be compassionate. I'll have compassion for others. All I need to be happy is a smile and a laugh and a little bit of schnapps. Mitch, here, drink this water. You've been asleep for 20 hours. I was so worried I almost called the doctor. I thought you had COVID. You screamed so much you scared the cat away. What? Where am I? I can move. What do you mean, where are you? You did that stupid skydive, you bumped your head, you passed out for a little while. We took you to Dr. Sushi and he said, gave you a CAT scan and said you had a slight concussion and to let you rest. Where did you think you were? Oh, Sadie, I had a dream, but it was so. Do you know what a great man my father was? Wait a second. We have to go out to dinner. We have to celebrate. Oh, I have to give money to the food bank and make sure that people don't have food. And oh, we have to sing and we have to dance and I don't know. We have to go to the theater. Mitch, what happened to you? Judy, I had a dream, but it was much more than a dream. I had a second chance to see my father and learn some important lessons. What I've done is good enough. What we have is more than enough. We should be joyful and celebrate every day. All I have to do is, in my life that's left, is to have compassion for myself and others, and remember to live each day as if it were the gift of joy. And I have to remember to have a little schnapps, have a laugh in my throat, and a smile on my lips. Oh, Mitchell, I love you. Oh, Judy, I love you. And I just have to remember to keep looking at life through my Father's eyes.